Coruscant was the capital of the Republic and the Empire. Not only was it the centre point of the galaxy and home to the rich and powerful, but it was also a hotbed for criminals and suffering, particularly on the lower levels. However, Coruscant had an even darker secret, the further you travelled into its depths. But what were these nightmarish creatures that lurked on the innards of this bustling megatropolis? So it's important to mention that the creatures in this video are now considered legends. However, we're going to be covering 3 creatures that I personally found to be both horrifying and interesting, and they all lived on or below the world that many saw as the pinnacle of civilization. So firstly, we have the hive rat. These were massive, almost furless rodents measuring around 3 meters long, and largely inhabited both the sewers and lower levels of the world. It's speculated that these rats had vastly evolved over a millennia due to Coruscant's growth, with huge amounts of pollutants and radiation being poured into the lower levels. For this reason, the rats are hideous in nature and were riddled with tumours and calluses. Luckily for most, the rats were a little threat to most dwellers on the lower levels. They preferred the taste of duracrete worms, which were seen as pests by most people, so the rats were largely tolerated. However, there are numerous tales of homeless citizens and fugitives who retreat to the lower levels, accidentally wandering into nests and been ripped apart by packs of these savage rodents. Next, we have the Coruscant ogre. Now, similarly to the hive rat, we don't actually know how this creature originally looked. They're tall and incredibly muscular humanoids. However, again, living in the undercities surrounded by pollution and radiation, it has vastly changed them. Now, these ogres were not necessarily dangerous. They were humanoids and could be trained to speak and used a variety of basic tools. However, the Coruscant Animal Control did spend great amounts of resources on keeping them away from civilians, as they could quickly become dangerous if hungry, angry, or just confused. Interestingly enough, these creatures were victimized by corrupt officials and criminals who wanted to utilize their great strength and relative intelligence. Some Republic officials actually started to lobotomize these creatures and turn them into manual labor for construction projects, and others did the same to turn them into bodyguards and enforcers. This was done as the price to lobotomize the beast and fit an inhibitor chip was significantly cheaper than purchasing a new droid. Finally, we have possibly the most troubling creature, which really shines a light on the darker side of Coruscant and its history, and this is the Chthon. The Chthon were said to be human prisoners who, as a punishment for their crimes, were exiled to the deepest levels of the world, where even artificial light was very scarce. The story behind this is shrouded in mystery, and there's been different adaptations of the creatures. However, I believe it's likely these prisoners were sent to the depths of the world, possibly due to the rulers of Coruscant not being able to afford to look after them. In Legends, Coruscant was the site of numerous battles, sieges, and catastrophes. In these events, resources such as food and clean water, etc. became scarce, and keeping felons alive was probably not the top of the leadership's priorities. So, they probably released them to the lower levels, basically to die. However, they didn't. They evolved. The Chthon are hunched over, troglodyte-like creatures with grey complexions, and they walk mostly on all fours. Their eyes were evolved away, as without light there was no need for vision. Most of these creatures skulk the lowest levels, relying on unwary travellers to feed them. However, cannibalism is also a very common practice. There may be some flicker of humanity left in them, as they do remember how to use some tools such as electronets, which they probably scavenged from guards. They used one of these to attack Darth Vader during his hunt for a Jedi in the vast darkness. The Chthon are probably the ultimate testimony to the grisly truth and history of Coruscant society. As senators live lives of luxury on the surface and the poor try to make ends meet below them, these creatures and many more toil beneath them, incredibly dangerous and completely unaware of what's happening above. But what do you guys think of these Legends creatures, and would you like to see these grisly beasts return in canon? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share and sub if you did enjoy, as it's really appreciated and it helps the channel grow. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter @TheLoreGuy and tick the bell for regular updates. Thanks again for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.